Now, here's the reality of the situation. Recently, I've spoken out against, well, not just recently, just throughout the last couple months, I have told you guys my opinion on Bryan Kohberger's alibi. Now, oddly enough, since the very beginning of this case, there's been two YouTubers that have consistently said Bryan Kohberger right now doesn't look guilty, nor is there enough to find him guilty. There's only really two. And those two still remain the same two people that are continuously telling you, I don't think they got nothing on him. That would be me and Harsh Reality. But the other day, I said something, and then everybody lost their goddamn mind. What did I say? What I said was that Bryan Kohberger's alibi is trash. And it is trash. And then I went on to explain normalcy and how I think that if you're one of them people driving around in the middle of the night to clear your head, you're kind of retarded. People don't like those words, and they don't like how harsh that reality is. But the reality is, it's still reality. I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. This will be my final video on the alibi. Let's do it. Fuck, I forgot my headphones. Son of a bitch. Fuck it. I ain't listening to no audio in this video anyway. Sorry about the headphones thing. Hell, I'm not even using the right damn lights. But anyway, let me first and foremost, let me say thank you to everybody that watches the channel or supports the channel. I couldn't do this, or any of my channels. I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do without you, the Gun Squad. Big shout out to you guys, whether you're support on Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, Venmo. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. And if you too want to support the channel, you can by hitting the links down below. Now, normally I would take this time to shill out all my other channels, but you guys know. And I really don't want to take that much time. Look, me and Harsh Reality has been going back and forth in the comment section for days now, because I went off script. I challenged the alibi. And by doing this, I guess I hurt people's feelings that want to justify their nighttime activities, which, by the way, doesn't mean you're a bad person if you're engaging in nighttime activities. It doesn't even mean you're a bad... Everybody jumped in immediately, and they're like, well, what about people that work third shift? Well, obviously, that's not a norm, so that's not what I'm talking about. For some reason, when I say something's not normal, when I say something is not standard, when I say something is not typical, it offends you people that I obviously believe it's typical. That would be like me assuming that everyone plays Assassin's Creed or Resident Evil. It's a dumb thing to assume. And it's also dumb to assume that most people believe that your way of life is typical or normal. Now, Harsh in his comments with me has been saying that who gets to decide what normal? Well, society does. That's why it's called societal norms. There's also cultural norms, right? People that look like me don't typically ride around with big gold chains beating you with the system beating, and There's cultural norms, racial norms, geographical norms, religious norms. These are norms established by each of those individual entities. Now let's look at social norms. Well, not even necessarily social norms. What I said to Harsh, and I mean this, your typical normal hours for work, especially here in America, are 9 to 5. If you walk out your house right now and you go out into the street at between 9 and 5, you'll see your society and your community. Everybody's moving around. Everybody's either coming to and from work, going shopping, whatever. But if you walk outside of your house at 3 a.m., everything is pitch black. All the buildings there's no lights on in the buildings. The roads may not see a single car go through it for 5 minutes. And that's no matter where you live unless you live in Vegas. I've lived in Orlando, a tourist location, and there's been plenty of times I've walked outside and everybody was shut down in the middle of the night. If I wanted to order food at 3 a.m., there's nowhere open for me to order food. If I wanted to go shopping, not even our Walmarts are open at 3 a.m. Understand that if I walk outside, it's a ghost town. Everybody's lights off. All the businesses' lights are off. Nobody is working in any of those establishments. Here in America, if a telemarketer calls you after 8 p.m., it's illegal. Why? Because it's not normal business hours. Now, when I say this, all the people that work second and third shift, they get angry. So you're saying I'm not normal? I'm saying you don't work normal business hours. Who are you to decide what's normal? The same motherfucker that will walk outside right now and there won't be a single light on anywhere, not even in the house that lives next to me. Why? Because I'm not working normal hours. I am currently recording this video essentially in the middle of the fucking night. It doesn't mean I'm bad. It doesn't mean you're bad. But it means you're not, at least your job hours are not normal. A man wearing a dress is not normal. It doesn't, well, it does mean he's bad, but the point of this is there's nothing wrong with saying that. If you were outside and some dude walked by you with fucking lipstick on his mouth, you would be like, what the fuck is going on here? Now, I get it. Some of you libtards won't. You'll be like, hey, no, that's fine in my world. But it's not normal. Horace said something to me, and I told you, no, even being gay isn't normal. It's less than 10% of the population. When something is not, all right. Let's look at trans. If you're like 2% of the fucking population, which isn't it's even less than that, how can you say you're normal? By definition, you're abnormal and a rarity. If something only happens 2% of the time, that's called a rarity. If I'm married to you and I only give you dick 2% of the month, you'd tell people I rarely give you dick. You know, in no world, harsh. If your wife, and I'm not talking about your wife, I'm not going to do that, but I'm using it as an example, not your wife's particularly. If your wife only gave you some pussy 2% of the month, your words wouldn't be, yeah, she normally fucks me. That's not the truth, because that's not a norm. Right now, if you go to 100 people and you ask them, hey man, what hours do you work? I bet you only 10 maybe of the 100 people would say third shift. The point is, now why do I bring this up? Because if you ask police, what is more suspicious, someone driving at 3 p.m. or 3 a.m.? The police will say 3 a.m. Why? Because if none of the businesses are open, that cuts down on what you could possibly be doing that's positive or good. The people that's typically driving around at 3 a.m. are doing something in the middle of the night, something suspicious, or going back and forth to work. And then, of course, you have the very small sliver of tards that's doing it for their mental health. I'm doing it to clear my mind. Well, good, tard. Can't you do it somewhere else? Whatever. I don't care. The point is, why do you think police think people driving at 3 a.m. is more suspicious than 3 p.m.? The answer is simple. It's because nothing's fucking open. If 95% of the businesses are closed, the 5% of businesses that are still open, it's an abnormality. You see what I'm saying? And so if someone's driving around, they can't use the excuse, I'm stopping by the grocery store. Where are you going? Where are you going, driver? I'm going to the grocery store. I'm going to the Taco Bell. I'm going to, basically, if you're driving around 3 o'clock in the morning, chances are you are coming to or from a job, which is rare though. You're going to get some pussy or you're going to do something illegal. That's your typical person driving around at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, this brings me to Brian Kohlberger. You guys know I don't believe they have enough, but his alibi is shit, and it makes him look very suspicious. to be in that car at that exact time, in that exact city, it makes him look suspicious. And that is all. I just want you to understand. I just want you to understand this was one of the biggest mistakes of the defense. Now, do I think that's enough to convict him? Of course I don't. But what I don't understand is why you guys act like sports fans. You ever seen a sports fan that can't be honest about his team? You know what I mean? Like, say your favorite football team has a shitty running back. And you're one of those sports fans that's like, I don't have any shitty people in any position. Our running back is great. They're delusional. They're in denial. They can't admit, no, we need a new running back. And that is kind of how I feel like this situation is. All the pro Koberger people basically can't admit that his alibi is shit. So much so, you're coming to the defense, and it's odd. You're coming to the defense and acting like driving around at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. is fucking normal. It's not normal at all. And the answer to your question, Harsh, is who decides societal norms? Well, society. And if it was so goddamn normal, if you could look out your door right now and see people driving around, see people walking their dogs, see people out there, doing whatever, but it's not because it's not normal. If I happen to be sitting on my porch at 3, 4 a.m. and some dude is walking down the street, I'm going to keep my eyes on that motherfucker because it's not normal. He might be up to some shit. Now, he might just be going for a morning walk. And in my neighborhood, that's probably true. But in reality, anywhere else, I'd have to consider the possibility that he's on some bullshit. The problem is in this situation, when I said something was abnormal, everybody took offense to it because they're fucking weirdos. And thought that abnormal means negative or bad. I'm not convinced. You can't. I understand. I can admit when something's normal and when it's not. I live a BDSM lifestyle. I know that my sex life is nowhere near normal. And I'd be a goddamn fool if I sat here and said, who decides what's normal? No, I understand. That living a lifestyle, a sexual lifestyle of kink isn't normal. And it would be weird for me to be offended by you not thinking it's normal. I mean, don't get me wrong. Normal is boring in that realm, and most of you are boring. But that's not the point. It's a whole different argument. It's not normal for a dude to be able to drink a fifth every night and still go to work every day. But I do it. I understand it's not normal. It would look real fucking stupid if I sat here saying to you, who are you to decide what's normal? Whatever, man. It's overdoing it. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's not what normal people do. If you ask most human beings, can you drink a fifth every single day of the week and then go to work the next day? Most people will be like, hell no. It takes an abnormal motherfucker to be able to do that. The point, the alibi is garbage. That's the truth. The alibi is fucking garbage. And I don't think it's something that will convict him. But just because you're on Team Koberger doesn't mean you need to act like every move that is being made is a winning move. They're going to look at him and say, why was your weird fucking ass up driving around at 3 and 4 in the morning in a whole nother town? They're going to ask him that. And then you're going to realize that your belief that driving around at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. is normal somehow is, you're going to realize how wrong you are. And once again, I want to make this clear. I'm not talking to the abnormal people that have jobs in the middle of the night. We get it. You have abnormal hours. We get it. You don't have to defend yourself. You're off the hook. You people that are driving back and forth in the middle of the night to go to work, you're not deterreds. But the ones driving to clear their mind because they're such fucking mental cases that that's what they have to do, they're kind of weird. They're weird. I don't know if this is your true crime video of the day. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Be honest, his alibi is fucking trash. His alibi is fucking trash. Well, I don't understand why we can't be honest about it. It doesn't mean we're turning on Goldberger or turning on the innocent until proven guilty. His alibi is trash. Give me your comment in the comment section if you like what I do here. You want to support the channel. Links, as always, are down below. I'll see you guys next time.